Hello everyone, my name is Kate. I'm here to bring you through a 60-minute Vinyasa flow. 2 blocks are recommended, but books could be good in their place, or also you can take the class with no blocks. Find a comfortable seat, whether it be Sukhasana, cross-legged, or Virasana, heroes. Hands will come down to your thighs and we'll start to close our eyes. Coming into our time together by stepping into the role of being the silent observer. How can you notice the natural flow of your breath? Taking note of how it's affecting your body, the way that it's causing your chest to rise and fall, your belly to expand and deflate. Is your breath deep or is it shallow? Maybe it's somewhere in between. As we stay in this stillness, I'll share a little bit about our sankalpa, which roughly translates to intention. Physically in our body, we're going to be working up to Surya Yantrasana, which is compass pose. But as I always like to remind my students, yoga is so much deeper than these physical asanas. And why are these poses even named these names? It's all done very specifically to remind us that we're not only taking this asana pose in our body, we're also taking the pose in our mind. So compass pose. When we bring ourselves into this crazy one arm under one leg, opening of the hip twist, it's not about nailing this pose. It's about reminding ourselves that as we come into this tool of navigation, we are our best tools of navigation. So often we're asking other people for their opinions. What do you think about this? What do you think I should do? But this pose specifically is there to remind us that we actually know the answers. They're deep within us, and it's just if we're willing to listen to them. So throughout this next hour, how can we remind ourselves of our inner power, of our ability to be our own compasses? And like any peak pose in a class, we're gonna warm up our body to it. We're not gonna jump right into it. We're gonna kind of mirror that in our pranayama practice with a breath that's gonna get increasingly longer and longer and longer. Working with a 4-count inhale in through the nose and a 4-count exhale out of the mouth to begin, and then we'll start to tack on longer and longer. So again, your eyes can still remain shut, staying exactly as you are. We'll exhale everything out of our mouths. Start to inhale, fill up for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exhale out your mouth for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Up to 5, inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale out your mouth for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Up to 6, inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Exhale out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time to 7, inhale in 1, 2, sip in air for 4, 5, 6, and 7. Gently exhale out your mouth for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Allow your breath to come back to its natural pace. Gently start to blink open your eyes. We're gonna roll over our legs, finding our way to crocodile pose. So coming down onto your tummy, legs are glued towards one another, tops of your feet are pressing down to the earth. Choose a palm to come down to the earth, it doesn't matter which one, and then stack your other hand on top. Let your third eye center, the space between your eyebrows, come heavy to your hands. We're here for 3 big breaths. Feeling held and supported by the mat, by the ground, by the earth underneath us. On your next inhale, peel your forehead away from your hands. Pressing up into space pose, your arms come out like the number 11. Fingertips point forward, elbows point back. I always like to visualize like I'm a penguin on the ice here. So gliding your elbows back towards your hips as you reach your heart through your arms. Pressing the earth away with your forearms to get up a little higher in your chest. Upper body stays as is. Come into half frog on the right side. So bend up through your right knee. Right ankle is in a perpendicular line with your right knee. Pausing here, pressing the earth away, staying lifted in your chest. Inhale. Exhale, make your way down onto your left shoulder. We're gonna pancake flip flop onto our backs. Our right leg stays as is. Your right shoulder is going to work its way down to your mat. You're now facing the back of your space. If it feels too intense to have your right leg straight, you can bend into your leg, taking more of a supine twist. If you kept your leg straight, I encourage you to pulse your toes up a little higher, getting even deeper into your IT band stretch. Again, both shoulder blades are down to the earth, hips are stacked, flexing through your feet. If your leg came out straight, we'll start to bend into it. We'll all let our right hip fall down to our mat. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. You're still facing the back of your space. Our back is just now fully imprinted into the ground. Release your right leg down to meet your left. Inhale your arms up overhead, flex through your feet, working with some spinal articulations. Draw your chin in towards your chest and start to lift up, starting from your shoulder girdle, and then lifting up vertebrae by vertebrae. So you come up to a seat, shoulders over your hips. Continue forward, fingertips are going to reach for your toes, seated forward fold. 2 more times like this. Inhale, gaze lifts, start to lean back until your shoulders come over your hips. And then exhale to continue down as slowly as you can, vertebrae by vertebrae, until eventually your shoulder blades hit the ground and your arms come up overhead. 2 more times. Inhale to find length. Exhale, chin in towards your chest, roll your spine up. Lean forward towards your toes. Inhale to sit back up, shoulders over hips. Exhale to slowly lower yourself down, navel to spine, strong core. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Last time, chin comes in towards your chest, roll your spine up. Take your time, move slow. Hinging forward to your seated forward fold. And this time, we'll pause when our shoulders are over our hips, pausing in Dandasana. Cross your shins, roll over your legs. Make your way down onto your belly, still facing the back of your space. Coming into our space pose. Back to your forearms. Press the shoelace side of your feet down to the earth. Drag your elbows back, your heart forward. Preparing to take this all to the other side, which will eventually have us facing back towards the top of our mat. So press the earth away from you, reach your heart up. Begin to find half frog on the left side, bending through your left knee. Find that press of the earth away, reaching your heart up. Flexing through your left foot. Inhale. Exhale, roll down onto your right shoulder blade. Flip onto your back. Your left shoulder is going to come down to the ground. Option to keep your left leg straight to have a deeper stretch, or to bend up into your left knee for a little bit less intensity. If you have your leg extended long, maybe you try to pulse your toes up a little higher towards your right shoulder. Big IT band stretch. Begin to re-bend through your left leg. Draw your left knee in towards your chest as both hips come down to the ground. Left knee's in nice and tight. Right knee is going to come in to meet it. Give yourself a little squeeze for carving out this time for yourself. Hands come behind your thighs. We'll start to rock and roll up the length of our space. Maybe a couple times massaging out your spine. Eventually cross your shins, roll over your legs, find your tabletop. Coming into a slightly different version of cat-cow than we're used to. So hands are underneath your shoulder blades, knees are hip-width distance apart. Start to curl your toes on your mat. From here, we'll inhale to drop our belly, lift our heart, cow pose. Exhale, cat, curling round, press the earth away from you. Hold in your cat spine. Shift your weight into your finger pads, let your knees hover off your mat. Send your hips back towards your heels like you're in a floating child's pose. Knees are gonna come out wider than your mat, and your gaze is gonna come slightly forward. So it's a mix of malasana and child's pose. Tap your knees back down to your mat. Let's flow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart, cow pose. Exhale, cat, curling rounds. Let your knees hover off your mat, send your hips back towards your heels, knees pulse out wide, heart lifts. Last time, hinge forward, knees tap down to your mat, inhale, cat. Exhale, cat, curling round, hold your cat spine, knees hover off your mat, shift your hips back towards your heels, knees pulse out wide, heart lifts. Exhale, hinge forward, knees to your mat, keep your toes tucked. Inhale to fill. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a minute here in your downward facing dog. You can pedal out your legs, you can look right, you can look left. Releasing any tension in your body. We're gonna take a pedal hold. So we're all gonna start to bend into our left leg and straighten through our right and hold. Letting your right heel really soften down towards the earth, intensifying the bend in your left leg, all the while softening your chest towards your thighs. Switch it out, left leg comes to straight, right knee bends. Shift your torso back towards your thighs, and we'll inhale to re-straighten our right leg. Softness through your knees. Let your torso come back. Let your hips pulse up towards the sky. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale to take 10 very tiny steps towards the top of your space, letting each step stretch out the backs of your legs. Eventually at the top of our mat, we'll find ragdoll, feet hip-width distance or wider. Generous bend in your legs, grab for opposite forearms and let yourself sway side to side. You could nod your head yes, you could shake your head no, again releasing tension from our neck. Switch out your grip, bend your legs even deeper, letting your lower back release. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips down to your mat. Toe your feet together to touch. Slight bend in your legs, draw your navel in towards your spine. Using your strong core, we'll ride our next inhale all the way up to standing, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Taking your time, slow and controlled. Your head is the very last thing to rise, so we find some state to heat, hands to heart center. Option to close your eyes as we draw our chin in towards our chest. Taking a moment here to seal in our intention, our sankalpa. That idea of finding our inner compasses, of trusting ourselves to have those answers, to lead the way, knowing that everything that we need, all that we are wondering about, it's all within us. Practices like yoga are great ways to tap into it and to be able to listen to your inner compass a little bit better. Inhale your chin away from your chest, Tadasana, hands come down by your sides, palms face forward. Inhale, high mountain, arms sweep up overhead. Pause here, slightly letting your hips pull forward, your heart lift up, soften through your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, hands come through heart center, hinge forward for your Uttanasana, forward fold, fingertips reach down to your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, hands glide up to your shins. Extend the crown of your head forward, your hips back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. I always like to imagine that a pencil in between them. Inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your legs back into your high plank. We'll take our chaturanga together. Roll to the ball mounds of your toes. Exhale, lower to 90 degrees in your arms. Elbows frame your side body. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Tops of your feet press down. Press down through your hands to reach up higher in your chest, kind of like we did in Sphinx. We inhale. Exhale, send your hips up and back. Roll over your toes, find your downward facing dog. Taking our Surya Namaskara, A, Sun, A, 2 more times. A little quicker, breath to movement. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, either step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, forward fold, heavier head. Inhale, high mountain, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to heart center, hinge from your hips, lead with your heart. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, step back into your high plank. We'll inhale to roll to the ball mounds of our toes. Exhale, lower to 90 degrees in your arms. Inhale, upward facing dog, tops of your feet press down to the earth, heart reaches high. Exhale, downward facing dog, roll over your toes. Know as I cue these chaturangas, you can always skip them, simply shifting your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Last time through Sun A, inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale to step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, high mountain, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to heart center, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your high plank. Inhale to roll to the ball mounds of your toes. Exhale, lower to 90 degrees in your arms. Inhale, upward facing dog, tops of your feet press down to the earth, heart reaches high. Exhale, downward facing dog, shift your hips up and back. Taking 3 big breaths from our downward facing dog. Exhale out your mouth, release some heat. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. 2 more, inhale in. Exhale out. 1 more, inhale in. Exhale out. Switching up our flow, shift your weight into your finger pads and your left foot. Inhale, 3-legged dog, right leg high. Make sure you're flexing your right foot. You dial your right pinky toe down towards the ground to close off your hips. That might mean your height is a little bit lower. Inhale. Exhale, yawn open your hip, bend your right knee, stack your hips. Now point your right foot. Inhale to re-straighten your right leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold here. Pick your hips up an inch. Exhale, gently step your right foot in between your hands. Our right arm is going to come underneath our right shin. So we just picked it up and then scooted it underneath our right shin. Our hands are still framing our right foot. Our right arm is just in this underneath grab. From here, start to pulse forward and back. Little seesaw motions. Inhaling to hinge your head forward. Exhaling to come back towards your left heel. Couple more like this. Start to find center. Right arm comes from underneath right calf. Tap your left knee down to your mat. Untuck your left toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Low kneeling lunge. Set up here, we want to make sure our right hip's pulling back, our left hip's pulling forward. Sinking a little bit lower in your hips, feeling this really down your left psoas. Soften your shoulders, reach your heart up. Draw your navel in towards your spine, strong core as we inhale. Exhale to sit back to your half splits pose, airplane your arms back behind you. Your palms are facing down to the ground, squeeze your shoulder blades in. Again, imagine that you have that pencil in between. Flex your right toes up towards the ceiling and then reach your heart down towards your right leg. The bottom of your next exhale will inhale to rebend into our right leg, arms sweep up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Exhale for knee down, extended side angle pose. Right forearm comes to thigh, kickstand your left shin, let your left arm sweep up overhead. Pausing here, tucking your hips underneath, reaching your heart up, left arm is in line with left ear. Inhale. Exhale, windmill your left hand down to the ground. At the same time, you're straightening through your right leg, modified side plank. Right arm comes up overhead. Shoulders are stacked, gaze can be lifted, navel to spine, knitting your inner ribs towards one another. Really making sure our right foot is planted into the earth. As we exhale, we draw our left knee in towards our chest. Kick your left leg out straight, fallen star or fallen triangle. Press the earth away with your left hand to get up higher in your hips. Inhale. Exhale, tap your hips down. Pivot your torso to face the front of your space. Feet are flexed, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come out in front of you. Soften your head, soften your chest down towards the ground. Not worrying too much about how far forward you get. Focusing more on finding a flat back, so extending the crown of your head forward, softening your chest down towards the ground. One more full breath here. Using breath to our advantage, we inhale to lengthen the crown of our head forward, and we exhale to soften our chest down towards the ground. Start to walk your hands back towards your hips. Shoulders stack over your torso. We'll cross our legs, roll over our shins, find your tabletop. Option here to step back into your high plank and take a chaturanga, or to simply shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Taking it all to the left side. From downward facing dog, inhale, three-legged dog, left leg high. Pause here, setting up, dial your left pinky toe down towards the ground. Make sure that your foot is nice and flexed and your hips are pointing down towards your mat. Inhale. Exhale, yawn, open your hip. Draw your left heel towards your left glute. Stack your hips. Point your left foot. Inhale to re-straighten your left leg. Close off your hips. Exhale, knee comes in towards your nose. Press your mat away from you. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Left hand is going to slide behind your left calf. From here, we come back into those seesaws, gently hinging forward as we inhale. Exhaling to sit back, stretching through your right calf. Inhaling to come forward, exhaling to come back. Take it at your own breath pace. Start to find center. Let your left arm come from underneath your leg out in front of you to reframe your left foot. Tap your right knee down to your mat, untuck your right toes. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, low kneeling lunge. Fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Pause here, same as the other side. We want to make sure our left hip's pulling back, our right hip's pulling forward. Sink lower into your legs. Make sure your core is turned on. Soften your shoulders, reach your heart up. Inhale. Exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits pose. Flex your left toes up towards the ceiling, airplane your arms back. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Your hips are pulling back, but your chest is pulling forward. Feeling this deep, deep hamstring stretch. And at the bottom of your next exhale, rebend into your left leg. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms come up overhead. Exhale, extended side angle pose. Left forearm to thigh. Kickstand your right shin off your mat. Let your right arm sweep up and over in line with your right ear. Stacking your shoulders, bumping your glutes underneath your body. So a little tuck of the torso. Inhale. Exhale, modified side plank. Right hand comes down to the ground. Left arm reaches up overhead. Left leg straightens. Pressing into the four corners of your left foot. Stacking your shoulders, drawing your core in. Inhale, fill. Exhale, right knee comes in towards your chest. Kick your right leg to straight, fallen star, fallen triangle. Press the earth away, reach your hips up a little higher. We inhale. Exhale, tap your hips down to your mat. Spin your torso to face the front of your space. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, seated, wide-legged fold. Let your hands come down to the ground. Head is heavy. 2 breaths this time. On your next inhale, glide your hands back towards your hips. Cross your legs, roll over your shins, find your tabletop. Same option as before, you can step back into your high plank and take a flow, or you can simply send your hips up and back. We'll take 3 more breaths together before we switch up our flow. So exhale everything up your mouth. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. 2 more, inhale in. Exhale out. 1 more, inhale in. Exhale out. Next inhale, 3-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot in between your hands, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Pause here. First time in our high lunge, we set up, bumping your right hip back in space, your left hip forward. It's much like our Anjaneyasana setup. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears, get a little bit lower in your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Left heel pivots down. 90-degree bend in your right leg. Find your strong warrior gaze of your right middle finger. Settle in here for 3 big breaths. First time in this pose, we want to settle. Pressing into the 4 corners of your left foot. Shoulders are stacked over your hips. Back arm is just as high as your front arm. Exhale to deepen. Inhale, flip your right palm up towards the ceiling. Reverse your warrior, lean up and back. Get a little bit lower in your right leg. Sometimes we can lose the depth as we bring in our upper body. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle, right forearm to thigh, left arm comes up and over. So this is much like what we took down on the mat as well. Tucking your torso, sinking lower in your right leg. Long line of energy from your left fingertips to your left foot. Adding on, we inhale. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right thigh. Follow with your gaze and feel this move coming from your navel. Inhale. inhale, re-straighten your left arm. 2 more times. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right thigh. Last time, inhale to re-straighten your arm. Exhale to thread underneath. Inhale, left arm is straight. Exhale to hold. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, straight into your right leg. High five your right arm back towards the back of your space. Inhale. Exhale, windmill your hands down. Grab for your blocks if you have them, no worries. If not, hands will come down to your mat. Shift your weight to your right leg, left leg lifts. So it's like a supported half splits pose. Standing splits rather. Flex through your left foot. From here, we're gonna bring our left leg out wide. Flex your left foot, try to keep the height. And then sweep your left leg back behind you. So we're trying to keep it at hip height. We exhale, open your left leg out wide. Inhale, sweep your left leg back behind you. One more time, exhale, sweep your left leg out wide. This time, your left leg is gonna come behind your right for cross-legged IT band stretch. If you had your blocks, slightly bring them out of the way. Fingertips come down to the earth. Hold for 2 big breaths here. This is a really good stretch for your IT band. Head is heavy. Keep your legs as is. Inhale, twisted mountain, arms come up overhead. Imagine that you are holding a block in between your hands. We're going to shift our upper body over towards the right. Shift your weight into your right foot. Left leg uncrosses from behind right. Hold this diagonal. Your left leg is lifted off your mat, flexing your left toes. Upper body's reaching towards the right. We're lengthening and we're also strengthening through our obliques. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps down to meet right, arms stay overhead. Inhale, fill. Exhale, hands to heart center, hinge from your hips forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your high plank. Option to take a chaturanga. Option to send your hips up and back. We'll take this nice and slow to the other side. As we inhale, 3-legged dog, left leg high. Exhale, gently step your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, high lunge, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Pause here, left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward. Sink lower in your left leg. Draw your navel in towards your spine, shoulders stay stacked over your hips. Inhale. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Right heel pivots down, arms are out to a T. Find your strong warrior gaze of your left middle finger now. Sink a little bit lower in your left leg. You should be able to see your left big toe. If not, bump your left knee further towards the left. Start to flip your left palm up to the ceiling. Inhale, reverse your warrior, lean up and back. Sinking lower in your left leg, stay true to your front leg. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to thigh. Right arm comes up and over in line with your right ear. Pause here, set up for your lower body because we do not want it to move as we add on our upper body. Pressing into the 4 corners of your right foot and your left foot. Strong core, inhale. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left thigh. 2 more times, inhale, re-straighten your right arm. Exhale, thread, right arm comes underneath left thigh. Last time, inhale, right arm high. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left thigh. Inhale to come through center. Exhale to hold. Next, inhale, reverse your triangle, reverse Trikonasana. Straighten through both your legs, left hand high fives towards the back of your space. Inhale. Exhale, windmill your hands down, fingertips to the ground or your blocks. Shift your weight into your left foot, right leg lifts. Flex into your left toes. From here, start to open your right leg out towards the right, flexing your right foot, keeping your right leg as high as you can. Inhale to sweep your right leg back. 2 more times. Exhale, open up towards the right, nice and slow. Inhale, come back through center. Last time, right leg opens up towards the right. This time, sweep your right leg behind your left. Fingertips come down to the earth, IT band stretch. Hold and breathe here, your head is heavy. Legs stay as is. Inhale, twisted mountain, arms come up overhead. Come back to that phantom block feeling, squeezing to keep your inner arms active. As we tilt our upper body towards the left, shift your weight to your left foot, right leg uncrosses from behind your left. Inhaling to find length on this diagonal, to find strength. Exhale, right foot steps down to meet left. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find your flat back. Exhale, step back into your high plank. Option to take a chaturanga. Option to send your hips up and back. So we're gonna take this flow a little bit quicker, one time through. And then for our last round, we're gonna add on our peak pose. Let's take a big breath. Exhale everything out of your mouth. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. On your next inhale, three-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot in between your hands. Inhale, high lunge, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Exhale, warrior two, left heel pivots down. Inhale, reverse your warrior, lean up and back. Exhale, extended side angle, right forearm to thigh, left arm overhead. One time, thread your left arm underneath your right thigh. Inhale through center. Exhale to hold. Inhale, reverse your triangle, lean up and back. Exhale, window your hands down, fingertips to a block, to blocks or the ground. Shift your weight to your right foot, left leg lifts. Flex your left toes one time. Exhale, left leg comes out wide. Inhale, left leg sweeps behind right, fingertips to the earth, IT band stretch, head is heavy. Legs stay as is. Inhale, up to your twisted mountain, arms overhead. Shift your weight to your right foot, upper body comes to the right, left leg comes out on the diagonal. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to meet right. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your high plank. Option for chaturanga, option to shift your hips up and back for your downward facing dog. One more side like this. From downward dog, inhale, three-legged dog, left leg high. Exhale, step your left foot in between your hands, low lunge. Inhale, high lunge, arms come up overhead. Exhale, warrior two, right heel pivots down. Inhale, reverse your warrior, lean up and back. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to thigh, right arm comes up and over. One time, thread, right arm comes underneath left thigh. Inhale, back through center, hold. Exhale, then inhale to your reverse trikonasana, straighten your legs. Exhale, window your hands down, fingertips to the earth or blocks. Shift your weight to your left foot, right leg high. Flex your right toes one time, right leg comes out wide. Inhale, right leg sweeps behind left. Blocks out of the way, fingertips to the earth, IT band stretch. Legs stay as is. Inhale, lift up to your twisted mountain. Upper body goes over to the left. Right leg uncrosses and comes over towards the right. Inhale. Exhale, right foot to meet left. High mountain, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your high plank. Option to take a chaturanga. Option to skip it. So for our last time through on each side, we're adding in our peak pose. Remember what we learned with our pranayama practice of the day? It's never about that end result. It's about building the strength up towards it. So it's small little wins rather than one big finishing goal. Follow your compass, follow your inner strength. Know when you have hit your edge. On your next inhale, three-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot in between your hands. Inhale, high lunge, fingertips reach forward and up overhead. Exhale, warrior two. T, open your arms. Inhale, reverse your warrior, lean up and back. Exhale, extended side angle, right forearm to thigh, left arm overhead. One time, thread the needle, left arm comes underneath right thigh. Inhale, re-straighten. Exhale, hold. Inhale, reverse triangle, lean up and back. Exhale, windmill your hands down. This is where we switch it up. Fingertips come down to the earth. Left leg lifts up. Find your chiba. Bend through your right leg, bend through your left knee. Bend all the way so that you can come down to a seat. From our seated position, we're going to come into hug a baby. So your right knee comes into the right crook of your arm, and your left foot comes into the left crook of your arm. Or your right foot rather. The right arch of your foot comes into the left crook of your arm. From here, kind of forklift your foot and leg up off your left leg, and then start to just rock side to side. Maybe you stay here. This can feel really good in your hips. Wherever we're at, really attempt to get your heart away from your rib cage. Just another way of saying we want to expand through our torso and sit up nice and tall. If you have further to go, your left hand is going to grab for the right pinky edge side of your right foot. Begin to kick your right leg to straight as we bring our right arm underneath our right thigh. So right arm comes underneath right thigh. Really working to press your right arm towards your right thigh, and then start to straighten through your leg, maybe weaving your chest underneath your left arm. We hold. 2 more breaths wherever you're at. Maybe you're still hugging that baby, that's okay. Keep breathing. Breath is how we get better at anything. Start to exhale to slowly bend your leg. Let your right arm come from underneath your thigh. Shrug out your shoulders. Cross your legs, roll over your shins. Option to step back into plank and take your chaturanga. Maybe you just curl your toes from your tabletop and you shift back into your downward dog from there. We'll all meet back in our downward facing dog for our last side of fire. On your next inhale, 3-legged dog, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, step your left foot in between your hands. Inhale, high lunge, arms come up overhead. Exhale, warrior 2, right heel pivots down. Inhale, reverse your warrior, lean up and back. Exhale, extended side angle, left forearm to thigh, right arm overhead. One time, thread the needle, right arm comes underneath left thigh. Inhale, right arm reaches back up. Exhale, holds. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, straighten through your legs. Exhale, windmill your hands down, fingertips to the earth, shift your weight to your left foot, right leg comes high. Chiba squat, bend your left knee, bend your right knee, so much so that you come down to a seat. Same setup, so your left knee comes into the crook of your left arm, and your left foot comes into that same area on the right arm. Fork, lift your leg up off your right leg, sit up nice and tall, just start to rock side to side, flossing out your hips. Again, you can stay here, this is perfect. And just really working on getting your spine a little bit taller. So pressing down by your tailbone will allow yourself to sit up a little bit taller. Downward force. If you do have further to go, your right hand is going to grab for the left pinky toe. Start to give yourself some space to slide your left arm to the underneath of your left thigh. From here, you can begin to straighten through your left leg, maybe trying to weave your chest underneath your right arm. We breathe. One more full breath wherever you are. Start to re-bend your left leg, let your left arm come from underneath it. Shake out your shoulders. One last opportunity for chaturanga does not mean you have to take it. Again, rolling over your legs, finding your tabletop. Maybe you step back into your plank and you take that chaturanga. Maybe you meet us all back in your downward facing dog. Last time in downward dog, let's take one final big breath. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, tap your knees down to your mat. We'll swing our legs out in front of us. Rest of the class will be supine down on our backs. So make your way down. Legs are bent. Feet are up nice and close towards your glutes. Start to lengthen your right leg up towards the ceiling, flexing your right toes down towards your face. Inhale. Exhale, figure four. Cross your right ankle to your left knee. Option to reach in between that diamond shape of your legs, grabbing for the back of your left thigh. Making sure that both your feet are flexed. Letting our heart rate start to slow. We made it to the top of that mountain and now we're making our way back down, steadying. We'll all make sure our left leg is lifted. Release your hands from behind your left thigh, preparing for shoelace pose. Right thigh comes on top of left. Point your feet. Crunch your head, neck, and shoulders up. Grab for your shins, your toes, the tops of your feet, your ankles, whatever's accessible. And then lower your head back down to your mat. We're just gently tugging our feet in opposite directions. Big, big IT band. Stretch. Start to release your ankles. Keep your legs crossed. Arms come by your side. Coming into a twist, letting your knees fall over towards the left. Your head can fall over to the right. If it's too much to have your legs crossed here, you can always uncross and let your right knee come on top of your left. Also, feel free to goal post your arms to get into your upper body. Inhale will draw you back through center. If you haven't already, uncross your legs. Legs will stay bent, heels towards your glutes for the next side. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Flex your left toes down towards your chest. Exhaling into your figure four, left ankle to right knee. Reach for behind your right thigh if that feels good in your body. Making sure both feet are flexed. Just as you have the whole class, listening to your inner compass, really tuning into what feels good here and what feels a little painful. Finding the difference between discomfort and pain. We'll all have our right leg lifted as we find our shoelace pose, left thigh on top of right. Point your toes, crunch your head, neck, and shoulders up. Grab for any part of your lower body that feels good here. Gently tug your legs in opposite directions. Make sure that your head and neck and shoulders come back heavy to the earth. You can keep your legs crossed, arms by your sides. Legs are going to come over to the right. Head is going to come over to the left. Option to goal post your arms. Inhaling back up through center. Uncross your legs if they're not already. We'll take a happy baby, flexing your toes down towards your face. Wrapping peace fingers around your big toes, or maybe grabbing the pinky edge of your feet or your shins. Whatever's going to allow your lower back to stay planted on the earth. You can gently rock side to side. You can straighten one leg, bend the other. Beginning to release your feet down into Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet to touch. If your hips have had too much at this point, you can opt for a knock knee pose, feet out wide, knees to kiss. You can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or goal post your arms if you want more shoulder stretch. Find a place where you can get nice and comfortable. As to really close out, we're going to take a restorative breath to come out of this fire and let ourselves come into our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest. So it's going to be a 4-count inhale in through the nose and a 6-count exhale out of the mouth. When you're ready, exhale everything out of your mouth. Inhale in for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exhale out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2 more times we inhale, 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 inhale. Exhale out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time, inhale, 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 inhale. Exhale out your mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Allow your breath to come back to its natural pace. Start to draw your knees in nice and tight towards your chest. Give yourself one last squeeze of love and gratitude for all that you just made possible. For taking the time to start to listen to your inner compass a little more. For even reminding ourselves that we are that powerful tool of guidance. Inhale. Exhale, get big into your final Shavasana. Legs come out long, arms come alongside your body. This is where I will leave you all. I encourage you to take a very long Shavasana, especially those days that you feel like you don't have time for one. That's when you need it the most. But thank you for, again, carving out the time and remembering that the answers are within you. You just have to start to listen, that inner compass. Once again, I'm Kate. Have a great rest of your day.